Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sage if this is your first time here, and on this series it's called Raw Conversations, and what I do is I just talk about a whole lot of stuff that happened to me in the past, how I'm healing and things like that. Now I just want to give you guys a forewarning that I might redo these, but I'm just going to post them anyways out of my own consistency. I feel like the devil has been trying to get me, right? Trying to stop me from posting every time he tries. Every time he gets a chance, it's just left and right, something ridiculous, right? But I have found a way to make these apps work to edit my videos and get them out, and so I will do it if y'all feel like the volume is not together, because it was really late when I was recording these. I recorded all the videos except for one, kind of in one swoop, one day I went to work, so you're gonna be seeing me dressed all kinds of ways, okay? Because I kept coming back to do this because it was taking so long and I just could not find time to film and just make it work. So I just said, I'm just gonna do it today and do it. And then 3-4 days of editing just for footage to get lost and all that. So that just, okay, enough rambling. None of that matters. What matters is I hope that you get the point of the story and that this video does something for you, despite it may not be my best quality that you guys are used to. Okay, so I do apologize about that. Like I said, I will probably do another video in the future on these subjects anyway. So yeah, but I'm gonna leave some information in the description box for you if you suffer from these and you need help and all the things. Okay, so please let me know what you think, not about the quality because I already know about that. Okay, let me know about the stories and if this helped you or not. That's all I care about. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. I think I use the same prayer in most of them because I really feel like people need that prayer. So I think I use the same prayer in most of these. It's like a 4 or 5 part video series, and I think I also use the same outro, because if this is your third video, then you know you need to subscribe. Don't nobody come back for thirds if they don't like it, okay? So stop lurking and join the fam. But yes, so that's about it. I'm done rambling. I just want to address that because y'all gonna be like, girl, you upstairs, you got this shirt on, it's gonna look crazy. But forgive me, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. My daughter just scared the crap out of me. Okay. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, okay. And I also wanted to mention, we are going over the 6 types of domestic violence. We are going over the 6 types of domestic violence in this first video, and then we will go over my experience with domestic violence growing up with my dad and my mom, and then we're gonna do my experience with domestic violence in the third video with my relationship, and then we're going to do psychological effects of domestic violence in a 4th video. Hopefully it's no more than 4 videos, okay? Because I wasn't expecting, I thought I could do it all in one video, but you really can't, especially when you're explaining things. And yeah, so it is what it is. You can't, like I said on my social media, if you don't follow me on Facebook, Instagram, follow me on there. You cannot microwave healing. Sometimes you got to put it in the slow cooker, okay? And so this specific section of my channel is for the slow cooker. So the videos are going to be long most of the time. There's nothing I can do about that. If I expect to heal and if you expect to heal, I can't just throw it out there. I can't just be like, well, this happened. There's no, you can't. You have to tell the story. You have to go back. You have to talk through it. You just have to do all those things. So that's, I'm not going to apologize. You either stay or you don't stay. You want your healing or you don't want your healing. but it's here for you if you do. Okay, all right. But now we're going to get into the 6 types of abuse, and what they do, what they classify as, whatever you want to call it, and then yeah, so it's just gonna abruptly start because, like I said, I recorded everything together, and so yeah. All right, bye. Okay, y'all, let's pray. Okay. Heavenly Lord, thank you so much for bringing us all together and just allowing me the strength and the confidence to talk about the subject that we are talking about today. I ask that whoever ears needs to hear this, hears this, Lord, and whoever is rejecting this, that you soften their heart to open up to maybe some of the traumas that they've dealt with, that they've pushed in, that they've pushed back, that you just open up everyone's hearts who may be doing these things to their partners and may be committing these heinous acts against their partners, that you soften their hearts so that they could see the error of their ways and begin to love and cherish and care for their family and their home and their spouse. And I pray that if anybody has gone through this, that you allow them to heal and you allow them to understand that everybody makes mistakes, and it's not their fault that people make mistakes. It's not their fault when they can't control a situation, but the situation that they can control is to get help. There is help everywhere, and you cannot be too afraid to go and get help, because your faith has to be strong enough. You have to know that if you are strong enough to ask for help, God is powerful enough to give it to you, and he will give it to you with the protection of all his angels, so that you don't have to deal with that situation. No one deserves to deal with that. Someone beating on you and doing all these things to you, that's not love. That's their trauma that they're inflicting on you, and you do not deserve it. Please, Lord, whoever needs to hear my words, let them hear those words, because I know you allowed me to say that for somebody. And I pray for their freedom, and I pray for their breakthrough today in Jesus' mighty name. No one can take that from them. No one. Let them lift your name up high and trust in you to get out of their bad situation, Lord. In Jesus' name we all pray. Amen. Okay, so let's go over this. The different types of abuse. So the first one is physical abuse. This is the type of abuse that many people think of when they hear the word abuse. It can include punching, hitting, slapping, kicking, strangling, or physically restraining a partner against their will. That is what we all think of. But it can also include driving recklessly, invading someone's personal space, and in any way making someone feel physically unsafe. So I feel like before we get to the punching, hitting, slapping, kicking, strangling, restraining a partner physically, that invading someone's personal space and making someone feel unsafe happens first. And we don't realize that those are the signs for abuse and that it's about to start until we're so far in it. We're like, oh, we know exactly what's about to happen. And at that point, you're not thinking, let me get up out of here, because you already know what's about to happen. You try to go. Now they're going to be restraining the partner against their will. And then all the other stuff is about to happen. So it's like, well, you're going to get through this beating. And if you get away, you get away, type of thing. Okay? Not okay. Okay. Sexual abuse. While sexual abuse can be a form of physical abuse, we put it in a category by itself because it can include both physical and non-physical components. It can involve rape or other forced sexual acts, or withholding or using sex as a weapon. Women. If you're thinking about what I'm thinking about, women do this all the time. Like they like, well, I'm not having sex with you or whatever, you know, and it is your body or whatever. But if you are angry at your husband, or like if not angry at him, if he doesn't do what you ask, or you don't like the answer he gave you, he told you look fat in those jeans, and now you're withholding sex from him days, weeks, months at a time because he said something you didn't like. Sexual abuse. That's what this says. Okay, let me start over. While sexual abuse can be a form of physical abuse, we put it in a category by itself because it can include both physical and non-physical components. It can involve rape or other forced sexual acts, or withholding or using sex as a weapon. As an abusive partner might also use sex as a means to judge their partner and assign a value. In other words, criticizing or saying that someone isn't good enough at sex, or that sex is the only thing that they're good for, because sex can be loaded with emotional and cultural implications. I was doing good there, y'all. I be really feeling like I can read sometimes. Because sex can be so loaded with emotional and cultural implications, there are any number of ways that the feelings around it can be uniquely used for power and control. It wasn't until 1993 that marital rape was illegal in all 50 states. Some people may still assume that sex is something a partner is entitled to and not recognize it is a larger pattern of power and control. Verbal, emotional. As one survivor puts it, my ex used words like weapons, like shards of glass, cutting and slowly draining my life until I nearly had none left. I didn't think I was abused. He didn't hit me, usually. I had begun to believe his awful lies, how worthless I was, how stupid, how ugly, how no one would ever want me. Oh, I'm about to cry because this is my story, y'all, okay? Other survivors have pointed out that while the signs of physical abuse might be noticeable to a friend or family member, the effects of verbal/emotional abuse are harder to spot and harder to prove. Emotional scars can take longer to heal. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so happy that I found this, because I was like, how do I explain emotional abuse better than the way I'm trying to explain it? That right there, verbal and emotional abuse, beautiful. And now we get to do the mental and psychological thing because there's some of that in there, and the financial and economic. And I think those, if they get you, most of the time these abuses, you have more than one category, right? Okay, mental and psychological. Mental or psychological abuse happens when a partner, through a series of actions or words, wears away at the other's sense of mental well-being and health. It often involves making the victim doubt their own sanity. We've heard stories of abusers deliberately moving car keys, and in one case the whole car, or a purse, dimming the lights, and flat out denying that certain things had taken place. The result of this, especially over a sustained period of time, and often with the isolation that abusers also tend to use. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk about everything in this video, because the more and more I read, this is just bringing stuff back. Like, you have those initial thoughts you go back to, like the thoughts that you're like, this is enough, I'm done with this. Like, you know, those thoughts that, like him dragging me off the couch that night, the morning that when I said go, I remember that like it happened yesterday, right? I remember that like it happened yesterday. And that's what I'm gonna talk about, like that what made me leave. And I'm gonna do another video about all this, because I really want to write it down and give just give a really good example on all of these things. Because it's just like, when you over it, you over it. And when you have to go back and think about it and dig deep, it starts opening those wounds again. They were closed. They were healed up. Like they were gone, leaving, you know? And now to get to that core memory, you got to slice that wound back open. And it may not bleed like it did the first time you got cut, but it's still bleeding, and you got to do all the things that you did to re-heal. This is why people don't like to talk about their trauma, but the more you talk about it, the easier it gets. This is how you see those people that, I don't know if you've ever been to California, okay? This is where I'm from, so this is what I'm going to use. But if you've ever been to Venice Beach, there is always somebody there walking on a sheet ton of glass. A sheet ton of glass, or hot coals, or something crazy with their feet. Something crazy. And they might have, like, their feet might be crusted and disgusted, but they gonna withstand that. You not gonna be able to walk across all them broken bottles, all that hot coal all day long without your feet looking the way they feet look. You know what I mean? So in order for us to heal our trauma, we have to talk about it over and over and over again. We have to take responsibility, realize our part. Like, I know all the parts where I was stupid. I was like, girl, you should have been left. But I don't hold myself accountable to what I can't change in the past. I hold myself accountable to what I can do in the future, because I didn't know what I didn't know back then. He knew what he was doing. I didn't know. I didn't have that, but I have it now. So if I went and got into another long-term relationship like that, that was my fault, and I almost did. Thank God he got deported. Thank God he lost his visa, because he almost had me. Almost had me. Okay, sorry y'all. Let me read number 4 over again. Oh, I'm about to cry, because now I'm realizing why God wanted me to do this series. I thought I was just gonna breeze through this, and he said, oh no you're not. Oh no you're not. Oh no you're not. Okay. Mental and psychological. Sorry, I'm reading this again. Mental or physical abuse happens when one partner, through a series of actions or words, wears away at the other's sense of mental well-being and health. It often involves making the victim doubt their own sanity. We've heard stories of abusers deliberately moving car keys, and in one case, the whole car or a purse, dimming the lights, and flat out denying that certain things had taken place. The result of this, especially over a sustained period of time, often when the isolation that abusers also tend to use, is that the victim depends on the abuser more and more because they don't trust their own judgment. They also hesitate to tell anyone about the abuse they're experiencing for fear they won't be believed. Not in my case. I just didn't want to hear "I told you so." How sad is that? Which I don't think they ever would have said, which is the worst part. My mama would have never said "I told you so." She was telling me to come home, but you know. They also hesitate to tell anyone about the abuse their experience for fear they won't be believed. Angela, a participant in one of our social support groups, said, "He had called me crazy so many times. I was unsure if anyone would ever believe me about the abuse." Financial, economic. Because abuse is about power and control, an abuser will use any means necessary to maintain that control, and often that includes finances, Whether it is controlling all of the budgeting, I can't even read this. It just boils my blood. How dumb I was. And you're not dumb. You're not dumb. You're not dumb. You're being abused, and you're not dumb for being abused. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But as I'm reading this, if this sounds like you, please figure out a way to get out. Even if you don't feel like you can go to your family, there's going to be a link and a number and all the things in the description box that you can call to get out. No one deserves this. No one deserves to be treated like this, okay? It doesn't matter how great you come out on the other side. If you know this is happening, then you deserve to stop it right now and live the rest of your life free from that. You don't have to go through this one more day. You do not have to go through this one more day. Not one. Period. Not one. Not for your children, not for your life insurance, not for whatever the hell else you want to think about. There's no reason that you should allow someone to treat you like this. If they're treating you like this, it's not going to be hard to convince a judge they're treating your children like this too. So you and your children get the hell on. Okay? Period. Period. Do you know how easy it was for my mom to get a separation? The divorce took a while, but 2 years, I want to say, before it was like official. But we moved immediately. She got that restraining order. We had to meet at a McDonald's for my dad to pick us up. How freeing is that? Didn't even know where we lived for a long time. And you know why? Because my mom was smart. She'd have my grandpa pick us up from that McDonald's, and we'd go over to his house and we'd spend the night. Because we knew, well, she knew at that time, my dad was not about to camp out at my grandma's house all night. Some of y'all baby daddies might do it. Be wary. But get away. Get away. Okay, sorry. Like I said, I was not aware of how this was gonna be. And I don't like to do the research beforehand because then I feel like I lack authenticity. So some, like, when I get my revelation, I'm hoping you get your revelation. And if not, I'm going to tell you what I think so we can talk about it together. That's how this is happening for me right now, okay? Sometimes you just got to do it while you're learning. So, I'm going to reread number 5 because I stopped in the middle with my own thoughts and stuff. And I want you to be able to, like, understand and everything as well. So, financial and economic. Because abuse is about power and control, an abuser will use any means necessary to maintain that control, and often that includes finances. Whether it is controlling all of the budgeting in the household and not letting the survivor have access to their own bank accounts or spending money, or opening credit cards and running up debits and survivors in the survivor's names, or simply not letting the survivor have a job and earn their own money. This type of abuse is often a big reason why someone is unable to leave an abusive relationship. Many of the survivors we work with have problems with their credit because of an abuser's past behavior. A bad credit history can affect your ability to get an apartment, a job, a car loan, and any number of things, the things necessary for self-sufficiency. We work with survivors to get... I feel like I can't read because you're staring at me. We work with survivors to get these issues resolved, but social safety nets such as food stamps, cash assistance, and health insurance can provide a much needed bridge in the meantime. Number 6, cultural identity abuse, okay? Cultural/identity abuse. Cultural abuse happens when abusers use aspects of a victim's particular cultural identity to inflict suffering or as a means of control, not letting someone observe the dietary or dress customs of their faith, using racial slurs, threatening to out someone as LGBTQ/T.
I've never seen it written like that before. LGBTQ, right? Never seen it written like that. LGBTQ/T. I've never seen it written like that before. Threatening to out someone, basically, if their friends and family don't know, or isolating someone who doesn't speak the dominant language where they live. All of these are examples of cultural abuse. Okay, an abusive relationship can include any or all types of these behaviors, sustained over a period of time and often escalating. If you or someone you care about is experiencing this and you want to talk to someone about your concerns, Reach's hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Call. I'm going to put the number on the screen. I should be able to say it, right? This is a public forum. 800-899-4000 to speak with a trained advocate, or, a trained advocate who will listen to you without judgment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could say that, right? I don't know all the rules yet. 800-899-4000 to speak to somebody. This is Reach's hotline. There's also going to be links and stuff down low with the national DV hotline. I like to call it DD just because I feel like it covers all 6 of these categories. Domestic disturbance, like these are all disturbances, and I feel like sometimes when you say abuse, it triggers people a lot more. And so I just call it, I've been through some domestic disturbance issues, it's kind of a way to water it down, sugarcoat it for the people who aren't really there yet. And so, yeah, that's just what I call it. So if you see that, if I ever say that, if I say D&D, DD, or like DV in a sentence like this, or like, like we're talking about these issues and I say DD instead of DV, or, DA, and different stuff. Like if I say DD, it's just domestic disturbance, because I'm covering it all, and I guess abuse covers it all too. But when you hear abuse, what do you think about? Abuse. But when you hear disturbance, what do you think about? Disturbing the mind, disturbing the peace, disturbing your person. So anything domestic negatively that disturbs your person and your household, that's what is covered in that. So that's why I say that, okay? It might already be a thing. I don't know. I didn't Google it, but that's just what I say, okay? Mental abuse messes you up, and physical abuse messes you up, okay? Not saying one is more crazy than the other, because everybody's mentality and what messes somebody up is so much different, like you could probably handle something that I can't handle, and I could probably handle something that you can't handle. Wow, I'm looking real crazy right now, I feel like. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to diminish anything, and I don't know how this is like hitting other people right now, but for me it's a lot. It is a lot for me. I don't talk about this all the time. That's why I'm doing this, because I want to talk about it, get it off my chest. I might have to come back and talk about it again once I've done some healing and figure some stuff out. I watch this, but one thing I do is I go back and I watch my stuff. It might sound like it's arrogance, but no, it's like, do I still believe that? What did I say? Sometimes I give myself some good advice. I'm like, I should have went back and listened to this the next day. Like, this was for me, but sometimes I go back to see, like, do I still believe that? Am I still in this place? Do I still feel like this? And if I don't, then I'll do an update, or I'll delete that one, add what I what I said then and then change it. Like, I have some videos that y'all will never see because I already took them down. I took them down because when I posted them, I was in a place where I was like, ooh, I already did a video about my ex and him cheating with men and all that stuff. But you're not gonna find it unless you recorded it when you watched it the first time. But I took it down already, so that's just all of the healing process. And like I was just talking to my husband about, you just can't microwave it. You can't, no matter how much you want to, because I don't want to do this. I don't. People are nasty. People are so nasty. And you start telling your business and you start opening some wounds that they got. All because you trying to heal. All because you trying to help other people. But they mad because they got trauma that they don't want to deal with. My brother is one of those type of people. Like, he ain't gonna fault me for talking about it. He gonna be like, that was some real stuff, little sis. He's my number one fan. Okay, my brother is my number one fan. He just don't pay for no tickets. Right, he bootlegging everything. But he my number one fan. Okay, so he is. But because we ride or die, we've been there. We grew up together. Like, we grew up together. And this is no shade, none of that. If your kids don't have the same dad, it's none of that. Kids just growing up in the same household, if they have different dads, whatever. But kids who grow up together, they often stay together if you teach them that bonding, that bond. Like, me and my brother, we've been through so much trauma together. We're just like, I'm just rambling now. Okay. I love you guys. I do. These conversations are so crazy. I can't believe I'm talking about them sometimes. And I just appreciate y'all being here with me, listening to me, hearing me out. I hope that it blesses somebody to know that they are not alone. And yeah, I just cannot wait to see you in the next one so I can continue this conversation, because we're not done here. This is not it. This is just a pause. Okay? So, yes, thank you all again so much. Remember to like and subscribe. If this is your third video, you already know what to do. If you don't know what to do because it's your third video, that means you're supposed to subscribe. Okay? If you make it to video 3, then you already know you like what you see. Nobody goes back for thirds if they don't like it. Okay. Bye. I'll see you all in the next one.